Cole Johnson has one attempt left in the other pit at 11.5 3/4. And that will be all of that group. Everyone else has completed their heights. Tate Block went out at 11.5 3/4. Max House went out at 11.1 3/4. Hammond, Carter, and Larkin have now all cleared 12.1 And here's Frankfather, who hasn't missed yet. This is his fourth height. And there you see in the foreground, that was Johnson. And so Johnson's out. So that will wrap up everything, I believe, on the second pit. Now here's the group seeking more height. Frankfather misses his first attempt, 12.1 So again, we have Hammond, Carter, Larkin cleared. Lasher has passed. And Frankfather, Blomqvist, Regan have one miss at 12.1 Ben Blomqvist up now.
The Outdoor Nationals Championship distance events are presented by Garmin. Garmin's line of Forerunner watches are the best smart watches athletes can buy. Stop by the Garmin tent on the concourse to check out the latest Garmin has to offer.
So we'll get back to the decathlon, but now we are getting ready for the Steeplechase, the 2000 finals, and here is a special welcome.
Next event on the track is the Championship 2,000-meter steeplechase. Let's help these athletes over those barriers. Let's bring some energy.
Courtney Frericks should know a few things about the steeple. And now we bring in a man who knows a lot about the steeplechase. Take you through these events. Say hello to Tom Fuhr.
Harper Nelson, it's an honor to be working with the two of you this weekend. And yeah, we have the 2,000-meter steeplechase, 18 barriers, 5 water jumps, and Courtney Frericks, of course, maybe along with Emmett Coburn, the two greatest steeplechasers in American history. We have 3 heats of this. They get progressively faster. Frericks, the silver medalist at the World Championships and silver medalist at the Olympic Games. She was also an NCAA champion on this track in 2016, right here at Hayward Field. Lifetime best 8:57.77, Courtney Frericks, which is the American record. So in this first heat, we have a total of 17 competitors from all over the United States: Pennsylvania, Texas, Utah, Florida, California, Washington, New York, Idaho. So we've got the 50 states pretty well represented here. The records for this event, as the gun goes off, national record is 540.72, set by Nathan Mountain, who's now running for Vinland Anna over at the University of Virginia. Bailey Roth holds the meet record at 541.67. He's a former Pac-12 champion from the University of Arizona. And we are off and running here. As I said, 18 barriers in this 2,000-meter steeplechase and 5 water jumps. And to the early lead, that's Truman Hansen of Park City, Utah. And right behind him is Graham Bowles of the Born to Run Track Club in Texas. We've seen a lot of their competitors here in this meet. So a little separation already very early in this race. Hansen went through the first lap in 74 seconds. The water jump here at the University of Oregon's Hayward Field is on the inside of the track. At the NCAA championships, for instance, where they ran the 3,000-meter steeplechase, the water pit was on the outside of the track. So this is a better positioning to give you some accurate splits. And now moving into the front is Noe Kemper from Idaho Track Club. That was a pretty definitive move by Kemper. That last lap for him in 75 seconds. 2:30.07 for 800 meters. And that's about 6:15 pace, so pretty aggressive. Just as some context for all of you, the fastest athlete in the field, well, Garrett Mackey, has a seed time of 6 minutes even, but sometimes that may not be completely accurate, especially when it's on the nose like that. So Trevor Hayes, 6:01.62. And since these heats get progressively faster, on paper at least, we should be expecting something in the 6:20 neighborhood here, as Kemper has really kind of blown this thing open. There's Kemper, 1:12.45. So that was his fastest lap of the day. He's got 2 laps to go. And he's doing a really exquisite job here. He's a junior. The Idaho Dash Track Club. And maybe he should have been seated into the second heat. He looks really smooth. Owen Murphy from Kings Park Track Club in second. And we might be able to get a relationship shot here between first and second, just to show you the margin. And Kemper taking those barriers with a great deal of aplomb. And he takes the bell now. For the men, the barriers are 36 inches high. And Kemper's lap, another 72. So he's gone 74, 75, 72, 72. He's got this thing well in hand, but it can be an oxymoron in the steeplechase, because as you get further into the race, the more your fatigue hits. And hitting a barrier, and it hurts when you do, or messing up on the water jump can happen. But this young man, Noe Kemper, is really turning in quite a performance. Look at how well he takes that last water jump as he comes into the final straight, about 110, 120 meters to go. And he's going to lay down a fine time. Takes that last, and he's got a kick to boot. And Noe Kemper coming into the finish here, close to breaking 6 flat. Wow. So Kemper, 6:01.48 with a 66.88 last lap. That was impressive. How he ended up in Heat 1, I don't know. But boy, oh boy, that young man can run. And you can see the margin here. There's a great race here for 4th, 5th, and 6th and the like. But Justin Bell finishes second. 6:24.94. So Kemper in a 2,000-meter steeple wins by 23 seconds. Very impressive. And just to give you an idea, the fastest time in the country this year is 5:58.86. And Kemper, in the first heat, runs 6:01.48. So that becomes the fifth fastest time in the country this year. That's really moving. And Kemper, just a junior. I really liked his form over the barriers and on the water jump. That young man has quite a future. So now we catch our breath and move to heat number 2. Got athletes from Kentucky, Virginia, Washington, New York, Idaho, Texas, Massachusetts, of course, Oregon, Tennessee, Kansas. It's a real cosmopolitan field. But the question is anybody going to run faster than Noe Kemper in any of these heats? Looks like a little cloud cover coming over Hayward Field just at the appropriate time for a distance race. Or maybe you call it a middle distance race. The weather on the track right now, though, is very warm. It's 81 degrees. Not ideal steeplechase weather. And boy, oh boy, is the weather going to change over the next 2 days. 72 for a high on Saturday. But Sunday, yuck. 62 high, low of 49, 50% chance of rain. Now, the middle distance and distance runners won't complain about that, but not great sprint weather. And that's not unusual here in springtime in Oregon. And this looks like it's Nathan Hamilton from Newton Center, Mass. He is a junior, and he'll have the lead in the first lap. It's going to be slower than they ran in the last race. 75.54 for the first lap for Nathan Hamilton. Sam Brophy from Knoxville in second. Diego Ramirez from Texas in third. And here you get a nice head-on shot of Nathan Hamilton. This is a very, very hard event. And in 81-degree temperatures, that can make it even harder. The humidity today in Eugene, 39%, so it's comfortable. Oh, we got a fall there over the water jump. Surprised we haven't seen one earlier. Wind is a little bit less than it was yesterday, about 8 miles per hour. And we got a break of those 5 athletes as we come up to the 800-meter mark. 2:29.40, so that's an improvement, 73.8. So that's right about what Noe ran in that last heat at that point, but then he really picked it up. Kemper. Hamilton still holding that lead. Looks like it's getting more and more precarious, though. Nathan Ruth in second, and Ramirez is in third. Diego Ramirez from Texas. He can relate to the warm weather. So Hamilton drops back now. And Ruth takes over. Gonna hit 1,200 meters now of a 2,000-meter race. 2 laps to go in 3:48.15, so slowed down a lot. So right now we are on about 6:20 pace. And a much tighter race than the one we saw when Noe Kemper just took off and flew. So it is Kemper, excuse me, it's Ruth, Ramirez, and Ramirez appears to be, he's got very unusual running form over the barriers. Ramirez goes over 2 feet at a time. You see that from the Kenyans at times, from the Kenyans that aren't really used to doing a lot of steeplechasing. You see that there, two feet at a time for the gentleman in second place, Ramirez. Keith Oitowilgen of Idaho is in third. That was a 79.3 lap. And that 2-legged at a time barrier jumping for Ramirez does get the job done, but every time he goes over the barrier, he gives up a little bit of space to Ruth. And then David Domena, who fell from Central Islip, New York, he was the one that fell over the water jump. He's currently in fourth. So the final water jump, and a nice execution there by Ruth, whereas Ramirez hits down with both feet. You lose time hitting down with both feet. And Ruth now into the home stretch. One more to go here. He got it. And now he's driving for home. And Nathan Ruth will win this right about at 6:20, what we had projected. 6:20.77, 73.32. Ramirez just hangs on for second. 6:25.08 for Ramirez. And Oitowilligan, third, 6:25.16. Noah Fernandez, fourth, 6:28.52. So Nathan Ruth, patient, ran his race, and succeeded. Not going to be the same time, much slower than what Noe Kemper ran at 6:01, fifth on the U.S. list this year. And you can see the runner space camera, which is a great camera to get close up to these athletes. And these are clips that they're going to want to have for the rest of their life with that kind of coverage. Of course, you can download these clips off Athletic Live. And now on paper, at least, this is going to be the fastest heat, the third heat. But keep in mind that Noe Kemper just laid down an absolute monster of 6:01.48, and this is not going to be a layup for this group in heat number 3. And we're off. Wyatt Smith, our fine director, and an excellent 800-meter runner to boot, giving us these fine pictures. Very crowded there over the first barrier. 18 barriers, 5 water jumps. A little trouble there for some of these athletes. Again, you don't want to land on both feet. You give up too much time. So it's obviously a little slow on this pace if they want to run what Kemper ran, or better yet. And number 5 is Logan Schwartz from West Salem, Oregon. And Logan, 74 seconds. So these guys are going to have to run about 72, 73 to kind of be able to get the overall title here. So every lap, unless there's a big kick at the end, is going to have to be either 72 or 73. So they're going to have to pick it up a little bit. Now, the man with the fastest seed time at 6 minutes flat is Garrett Mackey. He did that at the Portland Track Festival a couple weeks ago. Our good friend Michael Bergman helps to put that one on. Bergie, as he's known in the trade. So Schwartz looking quite good here. Very smooth, very relaxed. Maybe next year Josh Rowe, the meet director, will have pace lights for us, because when you have these races where it's multiple heats and the fastest time wins, you want to know when somebody lays down a marker like Kemper did, what pace you have to run. Now, Schwartz did pick it up, 72.83 there. Caleb Wolford of Spanish Fork, Utah in second. And Mackey in third, lurking back there. And Benjamin Seidman also. A little stumble there for our leader, Logan Schwartz. And another little stumble there for Logan Schwartz. And the question is that indicative of something that may be going wrong here for him? And the pack saw that and is now starting to hunt this guy down. Led by Garrett Mackey there on the inside. So was that just an innocent stumble by Schwartz, or is that indicative of maybe he's losing form and maybe he's losing his mojo here? And a very slow lap, 1:16.43. So here comes the pack. And right now it looks dubious as to whether they're going to run faster than Kemper did in heat number 1. And Caleb Wolford now the leader. Mackey looking very comfortable there in second. Schwartz just got swallowed up by this group. But Mackey looks a lot better right now than Wolford does. Wolford really has a lot of distress on his face. Meanwhile, Trevor Hayes from New York looks very comfortable there in third. And he took that water jump really well. Now Hayes in second. He looks terrific. So we're coming up to 1,600 meters, which indicates one lap to go in this 2,000 meter steeplechase. And Garrett Mackey is trying to put this one to bed, but I would be looking out here for Trevor Hayes, who looks pretty comfortable there in second. Little stutter step by Hayes. Every single stutter step, bad step, can be a momentum killer and could lead to somebody extending their lead. Look at Mackey. He has really nice form, really great leg extension on those hurdles. So if anybody's going to do something, it better happen pretty quickly, because Mackey looks awfully good. And he, again, a beautiful hurdling form. Not so much for Hayes. 200 meters to go for senior Garrett Mackey, Stark Streak Track Club in Oregon.
Getting 6:01.48, no Catherine, the June from Boise, Idaho, won that first section. He might walk on to the national champion.
Garrett Mackey, excuse me, coming into the home stretch here. He will not break Kemper's 6:01.48, but he's going to be close at 6:03.11 in a spirited race for second. So Mackey, a 65-second last lap. That was even faster than what Kemper ran, but Kemper had to do it without company. Caleb Wolford, that nice strong finish, 6:06.29, and Kyle Jones, 6:06.49. So Mackey did not run as fast as he did up in Portland a couple weeks ago. And
right here, I'm here with our winner. That first he went out there, ran a 6:01. He's only a junior.
So we're gonna
Boise, Idaho, our 2023 Steeplechase National Champion, Noe Kemper. Give it up for Kemper. Went out there, he gets his necklace as well. An amazing accomplishment from the first heat. Impressive.
And I'll say that was impressive. Noe Kemper moving to 5th on the U.S. list this year. Mackey, who had a slower time than Kemper, at number 2 on the U.S. list this year. So there you see the results of a very competitive heat number 3.
Everyone want a photo with him.
And
Let's take a quick look at the first section of the girls. This is the girls' Steeplechase Championship. Heat record 6:30.
by the way, kudos, while we're talking about Josh Rowe and giving him a little of the business, kudos to him. This meet has run extraordinarily on time. And that's not easy to do when you have a meet with this many athletes and this much going on. So kudos to him and his fellow meet organizers. And I hope I haven't jinxed it by saying that.